Happy Friday evening. It is July 21st, 2023 at precisealgorithmtrading.com. This is Dave, and I want to buzz through the markets and wrap this up for the weekend and not look at charts again until Monday. So let's, well, that won't be 100% true because I'm always doing something to gain a little bit better edge. And all right, let's start with the S&P 500 here. So let's not lose sight of this indicator I have right here in the middle. Let's get rid of that stuff. Um, July, 90% of the time over the last 10 years, this thing will actually do the math for us, and it's the S&P has been up an average of over those 10 years of 3.12% for July, and we're coming down to the end of July, and I still don't have that on here. I was going to make a tag here, add one for where we are for this current July to compare to that July, and make it go forward into August and September. One of these days I'm going to get around to that. So, anyways, I'd say we're probably on track for that. I'm not exactly. I mean, I'm not going to do the math on that because none of that really matters, other than kind of checking it against the average. But it kind of gives you, going into it, you can see here August, 40% of the time it goes up an average, 0.02%, which is also why I have it yellow and not green. And if it goes down in a month, it would be red. So I think, well, it's been a while since I programmed that, but in any case, it's not green. So these two are yellow, and if history repeats itself, September and October can be the roughest months, and we will just continue to watch that. All right, moving forward, the S&P today was down, or up 1.47 points, or 0.03%, or pretty much flat. However, you can see over here on the 1-hour chart. This is a 1-hour chart on this side, the daily in the middle. The daily drives most things, and the weekly over here to the left. The daily drives most things. The reason I say that is because that's the one most traders are going to actually watch, most investors are going to watch, mutual funds, the whole 9 yards. For how everybody wants to know how their stocks did, or all their funds, how their money do today. So they typically will base that, and all the financial reporting and everything else is typically based off the day. Well, but that's, I think it goes without saying, but I said it anyway. That's the reason why the daily chart really drives stuff. Well, as I usually talk, things can't happen on the daily chart unless they happen on the hourly first. The hourly here is unwinding. It's turned red. We've got actually turned red here toward the end of today, and we are bearish on the True Momo indicator, but we are getting to the oversold condition. At least it sure looks like it's the high end of the oversold condition, but we'll see. Over here on the weekly, however, we are light blue all the way and continue to be. So, and here in the middle on the daily, we're really just back and forth and still pretty bullish. So there you go. There's the Dow was pretty much flat too. It was up a whole 2.5 points. And we are still green. We're red here. Green, 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 and green, green, and green. So we're green on the weekly and the daily for the most part. So, however, that's a 2 standard deviation move. That dotted line hitting right there. And you can see it stopped there. Isn't that interesting? I mean, it's right up in that neck of the woods. So the Russell has been really doing well lately, and it's pulled back too. We'll have to watch the Russell. The Russell is small cap stocks. They're the hardest stocks to move in and out of for the big institutions. So if they start selling, they start selling hard, and if they start buying, they start buying hard. So I think we're going to get some pullback, and then we're going to get some continuation to the upside eventually, but we're going to have to probably unwind a little bit first. Over here on the weekly chart, you can see this latest green move higher. It's a few weeks in, but still pretty early. The NASDAQ has been going for a long time, and it's unwinding a bit. Oil, I was in a nice position, took profits, was waiting on a pullback. Actually, I was looking for a deeper pullback, so I am not participating in this most recent move, except I am in energy stuff. So, but they're kind of their own positions. So if you flip down here to XLE, I mean, it's similar to oil, but it's not the same. And you can see I got a deeper pullback here, which is what gave me an opportunity to get in, and we've been going higher since. So, and we have a nice new, almost looking buy signal on the weekly chart. So that's all good, and you can see that the hourly chart is moving. It's been moving. That's why. I mean, that's what I mean. This hourly chart's been going up, so it brought the daily up, and that's turning into the weekly. If it continues, then we have a trend. And that's enough for today there. Let's look at IYT for one more thing. It's transports. And a little bit of unwinding there, but nothing severe yet. I actually think this is going to be, generally speaking, the Dow is going to hold up, so maybe the transports will too a little bit. And yeah, a little unwinding there wouldn't be a terrible thing either, so we could get a breather and possibly get a dip that we can rebuy. Now I'm going to flip over to stockcharts.com, type in the bullish percent indexes. Oops, bullish. Flip through these real quick. Here's the Dow. Didn't move. The NYA up by 0.42% today. The transports still at 100%. There's only one way to go down, or one way to go, and it's down. Not to say, I told you the other day, it can jockey around up here. We can have the transports can actually continue to go higher as far as price goes, but just not on this, the way this thing measures. 100% of the stocks in the transportation index are on a point and figure buy signal. The NASDAQ down by 0.1% today, which is hardly anything. The S&P tacks on a new green X today and goes up 1%. The S&P 100, or the OEX, is flat, and the NDX finally is flipped over to a column of O's. So that's showing the immediate weakness of probably where we're headed for NASDAQ stocks. This is the NASDAQ 100. So things like Apple, Netflix, Google, Facebook are at least probably due for a pause for the most part. And I'll be looking for anything that holds up in strength there to possibly get long when we get some signals. And then finally, for our really weekly wrap up here, here's our automatic trading systems, and they're not really doing us any favors lately, but again, this is a long-term sort of system, even though it trades very short-term. So this trades on a 1-minute time frame. This is the Dow, and so every trade, not every one of these, well, I guess it's ultimately what every one of these things is made off of, is based on a 1-minute chart. And we have been pulling back lately. although these little blips every now and then, like we had last week, we had a move up. Well, now we've had a move back. So, and that's okay in the scheme of things, because this is what a year's worth of data looks like. That's after a year's worth of trading, 1 minute bars. So it's, it's not the end of the world. It is what it is. We're in a pullback situation. So the Russell, I think this is, generally speaking, this week's worth of trading. So it's actually gone higher for the week, but today we had a little pullback. We didn't have any trading yesterday, or that thing didn't trade, I should say. This is what it looks like on a 1-year basis. The NASDAQ was starting to act like it was possibly growing back up a little bit. One of these days we're going to this thing's going to hopefully rip its face off to the upside, just like it did here, in a good way. We just don't have it yet. So actually that's today's move. So we got some drawdown again, but not as low as it's been. Not to say it can't get there, but we're looking for this thing to get picked back up again, like it has so many times in the past. This is the latest drawdown. We've had drawdowns before, drawdowns before, drawdowns before, drawdowns before, and this is the biggest one that shows up here. And I opened this up a week or so ago into like 15 months, and right off the chart over here is a drawdown that's pretty much the same as this one here. So I hope this one doesn't get any worse than that one did, and we can just continue to go higher from here. But it's going to happen when it does, just like it did back here. I mean, these are hard moves to take when these things are drawn down. In this case, 10 or 15 or 20,000 bucks. Now we're probably call it 260 to 220. That's $40,000. I've traded a relatively large account here, but if you're trading one contract, it's going to be less. So, and quite a bit less. So anyways, you get the idea. And so that's enough of that. We will leave you guys for the weekend. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and we will catch you next week. Take care, good trading, and have a great night.